Dude is rocking cassette player.
Just relax. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation.
Leg warmers! Jerry curl! Excuse me, miss. What color is Michael Jackson?
Black.
You're watching The Film Fix. I'm Jonathan W. Hickman, and this is
Jeff Marker.
And we just took in Hot Tub Time Machine here at the Landmark Midtown Art Cinema in Midtown Atlanta. Hot Tub Time Machine stars John Cusack, Rob Corddry, and Craig Robinson from The Office, which of course we've seen him in The Office. It's about three guys and I guess a nephew. They're kind of down and out, and they go to a retreat at a ski lodge and get trapped in a time machine / hot tub, and it takes them back to 1986 of all times. What did you think of the movie?
I think as long as you don't take it seriously whatsoever, you should have a good time. It will help if you're old enough to remember the 80s, because you're not going to get many of the jokes if you don't. They throw in the nephew character, though, to try to capture a college audience, and he does help a lot. He's sort of, ironically, he's the voice of reason in this group of four guys.
Every time they want to do drugs, he's like, no! Why? Don't do that! Every time they want to do something crazy that will interrupt the time-space continuum, he tells them not to do it, and of course they do the opposite, which is no spoiler in this kind of movie.
I thought maybe I could, pull it apart from one of the other tubs. But it turns out this is a very special model that you have here. You got to be very careful. I tell you, one little thing is changed, the whole system can go haywire. Do you understand what I'm saying? The whole system can go haywire if you change one little thing.
Did you think the movie was funny? That's probably the best question.
Yeah, I did. I have to come back to it, though. It relies heavily on your knowledge of sort of 80s cliches. And so on that level, if you look at it purely as nostalgia, I think it'll work. Don't try to take it seriously, and so you'll have to decide whether a movie you can't take seriously at all is worth $10 or not.
Well, and it's also worth mentioning that John Cusack plays another version of himself, a smart kind of lovable loser who, at this point in his career, has been that role so many times that we're just comfortable with him in that. But he is directed here by Steven Pink, who had a hand in writing him in one of my favorite movies of the '90s, Grosse Pointe Blank. That was a 1997 film. He also helped write High Fidelity, which a lot of people, that's a 2000 film that a lot of people ought to go out and rent. It's a much better film than Hot Tub Time Machine. You had a chance to see How to Train Your Dragon. That's a kid's film, and I wrote in my blog that PG-rated films are on a comeback, it seems, that the PG-13 thing that was most coveted is kind of discounted. What do you think? You think How to Train Your Dragon is going to capture the box office? And tell us what you thought of that movie.
Well, first of all, I think it's the best DreamWorks animated feature in a while. I wasn't very impressed by Monsters vs. Aliens or the last couple of Shrek films, and it in ways it looks like Shrek, but thankfully the sensibility is a little bit less cynical, a little bit less obnoxious, and this is sort of more of a believer film, which is a little bit new for DreamWorks itself. As far as how it fits as a kid's film, it's actually rather intense at times. It centers on a teenage boy named Hiccup, quite a name, kind of fits his 95-pound weakling persona as well. And he lives in a little Viking village, which is on a hillside, and they're constantly attacked by dragons. And so all the Vikings train to fight off dragons, and this is the big weakness, it's a very typical kid scenario. Hiccup can't live up to his father's expectations, and therefore kind of feels inadequate and fights over that through that the entire film.
You get your wish. Dragon training. You start in the morning.
Oh man, I should have gone first. 'Cause I was thinking, we have a surplus of dragon fighting Vikings, but do we have enough bread making Vikings or small home repair Vikings?
You'll need this.
I don't want to fight dragons.
When the dragons attack, I'm not sure it should still be a PG movie, and so I'm not sure that it really fits into the trend that you're talking about.
So my 6-year-old might be a little scared by it.
It's borderline.
DreamWorks has Shrek Forever, I guess is what it's called, coming out this summer. I think we're going to see it in May. Do you think DreamWorks is ever going to step out of the shadow of Pixar?
I think this is a step in the right direction, but that's a good comparison. It's the best DreamWorks movie in years, but it's still If this were a Pixar film, it wouldn't make their top 5, not by a long stretch.
Thanks for watching the Film Fix this week, and you can feed your movie addiction by going to dailyfilmfix.com.